met because of some mutual friends. I was I guess I was her neighbor to one of her best friends.
We were both living down at King Henry Apartments down in Provo. He was going to school at BYU and I was just working. My first initial thought of him was he was just another King Henry boy, kind of cocky, kind of players that horrible. But I thought he was cute, but then I didn't really think anything of it.
I met Caitlin out front of her apartment one night, and then I didn't see Caitlin again for about 2 months, but then by that time I was ready to ask her out. We went to like a pizza parlor. It was actually pretty funny. There was a tattoo parlor underneath and a pizza shop above.
First date was December 1st. So yes, we went to this little restaurant above like a tattoo parlor. It was kind of sketchy, but it was really good food.
And then afterwards went to the Salt Lake Temple and just kind of walked around, looked at the Christmas lights.
Things were good. We laughed and just talked and it was perfect.
Everything around the situation, we were so rushed because she was going on a mission. But you know, I say it all the time that I would regret it if I didn't ask her out. And then it was our second date. We went to UVU Utah State basketball game.
Down at UVU, and then we played like hide and go seek in cars after that. It's really fun. And then he was driving me home, and on the way home, he held my hand in the car. And then
as she was about to walk in the door, she was literally in the door. I had to reach out, grab her hip, pull her back, and then I kissed her.
And I could just feel it. I knew he was gonna kiss me, and I was thinking, he can't kiss me, like this is the second date. And so we hugged and stuff, and I kind of ducked and went right for the door to go inside, and the door was halfway open and I was halfway in. He just grabbed me and kissed me, so it took me totally off guard. So our first date was in December, and I was leaving for a mission January 16th. And so from the first date on, we fell in love with each other, and every day was perfect. But I knew that I was still going on mission, and so did he. So with every date and every kiss, I kept saying to him, "What are you doing? Like, I'm going on mission." But we kept on dating.
And we were so rushed, but we just kind of ignored time. We just kind of ignored the fact that she was going on a mission when we were dating. So I met her family, and I'm sure they were freaking out, saying, "What in the world is this kid doing?" But met her family, we dated, and I always knew that I would be with this girl, but we just didn't know when.
After I was out in Chile for 3 months, I realized I needed to come home and get married to him, and I didn't know exactly how he felt, so I was kind of scared to tell him. But after getting his email,
I did a little proposal via email because I kind of had to, just to let her know how I felt, because we really hadn't shared that with one another yet. But how I proposed is we hiked up to Ensign Peak.
And so we went and hiked Ensign Peak, and at the very top he had like a little basket with chocolate covered strawberries, so I totally thought he's doing it like right this second, and we were up there and ate some strawberries.
I was kind of teasing her on the way down. I'd pull her off on little side paths because she knew it was coming.
My heart was beating so fast, I was like, okay, he's not gonna do it. And so we got to the very bottom, and there's this little park at the very bottom of Ensign Peak, and there was all these lights hanging from like these vines down there.
And I'd had my mom decorate like a little park with some lights and a few other things.
You could see the Salt Lake Temple, and that's where we're getting married. And so he said, there are two things that remind me of eternity, looking at the temple and looking into your eyes. And then he got down on his knee and asked me to marry him.
When I first met her, it was kind of shocking. Like, she really impressed me just by the way she was so kind. I was talking to another friend, and she was extremely kind to her. And I went back to my apartment actually that night, talked to one of my buddies, and I'm like, dude, I need to ask this girl out. But then I didn't see her again for 2 months, and by that time she had a mission call. And I think that kind of drew me to her as well. The fact that she was driven, the fact that she had a purpose, that she was going somewhere, like that she wanted to do things. She had a lot going for her, but she was willing to give that up. And I think something that really drew me to her is just the way that just how fun she was. I mean, everywhere she goes, she has a smile on her face. She always makes the most out of everything, and she doesn't get fazed by much. Everything's just happy, fun loving.
Taylor, to me, he is the most kind person I've ever met. He has such a kind heart and can get along with about anybody, make friends with anybody. I think my family fell in love with him right at the first time they met him, as well as I did on our first date. He's just so kind, he works hard. We have such a good time together, he makes me laugh. I could really be doing anything with him and it'd be a great time, so.